I'm being subtly reminded of a quote from a movie called Ever After with Drew Barrymore and Edward Scott. There's this quote where the main character, who plays the Cinderella, Danielle, says, "If you suffer your people to be ill-educated and their manners corrupted from infancy, what else is to be concluded, sire, but that you first make thieves and then punish them?" There's this ongoing debate about millennials and about Generation X and just kind of the stereotypical things that are coming with these generations. And what I find the most interesting is that I feel like parents aren't taking responsibility for how they raise their children. If from the moment you're born, you're told certain things. You can have this, you are this, you must do this. If you're always programmed from a very young age to be a certain way, when you get older, you can take responsibility for yourself and you can undo the past. I think everyone's had their turn at undoing, or at least trying to undo the past. But ultimately, it's imprinted on you. It's been imprinted on how it is you're supposed to be, how it is you're supposed to act, what it is you expect from life. And I find myself very frustrated at times because I feel like I was told a lot of things about life that don't seem to be true. You can work really hard and still lose your job. You can do every single assignment in class full on, meet all the requirements, and still get a B. You can say all the right things, do all the right things, be the right kind of person, and still lose friends. It doesn't matter. Life is definitely, unscripted, it seems like. But my point is, I'm sitting here, I graduated college, I haven't been YouTubing, and I'll tell you why I haven't been YouTubing. I have been so stressed out, basically since graduation. Just trying to run around and decide what to do next. The fifth dimensional journey part of me says, you need to lay back and breathe and let everything come to you. No one got anywhere by sitting still. But the second part of me, the egotistical part of me, is going, you need to look for jobs, you need to look for an apartment, you need to go and start looking for someone, you need to go start looking for people to date. You all this free time, you need to start doing stuff you haven't been doing. Oh, wow. And I'm sitting here torn between, there's me looking at my 5D self and looking at my 3D self and going, I'm just going to sit here in the fourth dimension and not move. And the reason I brought the millennials thing today, and the reason I'm connecting it now to my 5D journey, is I'm 31 years old. I have been paying rent my entire life, okay? This last year alone, I paid $12,000 something in rent, okay? There we go. $12,000, where'd it go? Gone. It's gone. It's just disappeared. I had this nice apartment. I love my apartment. It's beautiful, second floor and decorations and blah. But I don't own it. And now I'm looking at all this stuff online, looking at tiny homes and RVs and houses for sale and condos and townhomes. And everyone's like, you need to have money. You need to have money saved up. And I'm like, why? I can afford that payment, and if you let me pay that, I'll have more money to give you later. I'm just waiting around. And the millennial generation, they say, because I'm considered millennial, which is interesting to me. I'm considered a millennial, and they say that we expect more than we deserve. That we have these high expectations of what it is we're supposed to get. We're entitled, right? Well, as far as I can recall, I remember being told how awesome I was and how I deserve to get everything I want if I work hard for it and blah, blah, blah. And there was just a lot of misleads, man. There were some misleads. People be telling you can do stuff and that you can have stuff you can't. You can't have it. It's no easy task. You can go to school for 6 years and get a degree. Should have been 2, but hey, it ended up being 1. Why? Money. Just to run around like a chicken with their head cut off, going, "Wait, where's my job? Where's my place to live?" The 5th dimensional self right now is, like I said, keeps telling me to sit back and to just relax. Well, my ego is telling me and him, this is the shortest term I've ever looked for an apartment. I've been looking for an apartment since the beginning of June. It is now July 6th. I move out in, at the most, 25 days when my lease ends, and I still don't have an apartment yet. I'm not seeing the one that's mine. That I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. Like I usually get a feeling like, oh, this is the one. I'm not getting it. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And so here we are. And I've been invited on several dates in the last couple weeks too, and they just keep falling through. Sinus infection, or I'm busy, or this or that. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm sure I sound a little bit cynical when I'm like, well, the ball's in your court now. Why don't you message me? Because I've been so sweet with the dating over the last 10 years. And it hasn't worked out so well. I put a lot of effort into stuff that doesn't tend to work out. It's because I put over faith in things. That's kind of like a millennial habit. We put too much faith and too many eggs in one basket. And then when someone runs off the basket, we're like, wait, what? Where'd the eggs go? What am I eating for breakfast tomorrow morning? Nothing. You're going to eat alone with no food. Wow, I'm in such a mood today. Okay, here's the message, okay? You can plan, but it might fall apart. You can not plan, and it might come together. Or you might get both. You never know. L to the 5th.